IEM Beijing just concluded and Astralis have yet another trophy to add to their cabinet. But this time, in the grand finals, it wasn't the usual suspects who put up a fight against them. One would have thought that maybe Vitality would have faced them in the finals with the power of Zaifu, or maybe the current world number 1 EG would have fought them. But no, instead, it was 100 Thieves. And that's the first major storyline out of IEM Beijing. The Australian underdog team was never considered Tier 1 until a few months ago. When they made their first appearance in 2014, they were nothing but a meme. But they have been knocking on the doors of Tier 1 CS since the last few months, and their wonderful run at the recently concluded Berlin Major is proof of how far they've come. This was the first time that this roster has made it to the finals of a premier CSGO event. By the way, if you don't know who they are or how far they have come, you should check out the video called The Story of Renegades. It's another video on our channel. This was Renegades' first tournament ever since they were picked up by the new hot organization 100 Thieves. And more than that, they've had some pretty interesting performances. They picked up Inferno against ENCE and won it 16-3.
Gonna call us on it. It's a nice attempt for Sunny, but it won't matter. 16-3 as 100 Thieves will take down ENCE. Just no problem at all on Inferno. That was the first map.
When they faced ENCE again later in the tournament, they beat them 16-9. And that's a big feat because ENCE do their homework really well. If you defeated ENCE previously in the same tournament, the chances are that they would have done their homework and they would have been prepared for you. Against Vitality, they won Inferno 16-2. All three of these matches are proof enough that Inferno is indeed one of their stronger maps. Unfortunately, they couldn't beat Astralis on it.
16-10, they were 5-0 down, they lost both pistols, but it's showing their tenacity. It's Astralis fighting back.
Astralis fighting back, certainly, but I think a lot more should have been done from 100 Thieves as soon as the guns were out of their hands.
But that's okay because Astralis is one of the best on Inferno, if not the absolute best. This is a good sign because Inferno is one of those maps which is a pretty common veto pick. If they're confident in Inferno, one can expect them to pick it up more in the future, and having Inferno as your arsenal is a pretty significant advantage. But that's not the thing that surprised us the most. They did something in the finals against Astralis that left us all scratching our heads. To give you more context, let's go back a few months at the Starladder Berlin Major. In Berlin, when Astralis faced Liquid in the quarterfinals, they picked up Vertigo against them right off the bat because Astralis really wanted to get back up on that number 1 spot.
It's such a ballsy pick by Astralis to just go straight.
The daring pick is Nuke here. Is to say, listen, forget everything.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's happened, the curveball.
They've gone and done it, right?
A new addition to the map pool, Vertigo, and it's here in the quarterfinal.
This obviously means that Astralis know how to play Vertigo well enough. Well, guess what? 100 Thieves picked up Vertigo against Astralis in Beijing, despite knowing that it's a map that Astralis is comfortable on. And they managed to put up a great fight as well, going 16-14 and almost beating them.
There's one left, Lias is gone, and Astralis survived the curveball of Vertigo. Wow, it was looking like a pretty standard game, but right at the last few rounds.
It was really brave of 100 Thieves to pick up Vertigo against a team like Astralis. It shows us how deep their map pool is and how prepared and hungry they are to start winning more tournaments. This was the first time ever that this ex-Renegades roster has ever made it to the finals of a premier tournament. They have been getting some good results in their previous tournaments, sure, but they have never made it this far. Now, we don't know if this brilliant performance in getting to the finals was purely because of their skill, knowledge and team play, or the fact that they just got picked up by 100 Thieves has something to do with it. Let's be honest, this is not the only team who has had a massive surge in performance after they were picked up by a hot new organization. Recently, Evil Geniuses, they picked up the roster of Energy and they climbed up to the world number 1 spot on the HLTV leaderboards. They won ESL 1 New York, their very first tournament under the EG banner, and they beat Astralis when they did so. This sudden change in the performance of these rosters after they signed with Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves respectively definitely shows that business, branding and management side of the teams definitely has some correlation with the performance and the results of this team. However, correlation does not equate to causation. To find out what effect the branding, marketing and management of the team has effect on the performance of the team, to find that out, we will have to do a deep dive into the business side of esports, and that probably requires a separate video of its own. Let us know in the comments if you want to watch something related to the business side of esports. FaZe have some of the strongest players in the world when it comes to raw individual firepower. Nico is widely considered to be one of the finest aimers, and he is deadly with the deagle.
Away from them very, very quickly by Titan. Oh my god, Nico gets 3, 4! Oh my lungs, I don't believe it! Shocks then has just to find one more. The molly isn't gonna...
Olofmeister is the most successful person in CSGO, as he has the highest number of trophies. coldzera was ranked the #1 player in the world by HLTV in 2016 and 2017. Rain can rain fire upon enemies from every single angle in the map. Brokey is a fresh new talent that is brilliant, and despite having this star-studded lineup, FaZe have not been able to find too much success. They did have a little honeymoon period while they were playing superb soon after picking up coldzera and Brokey, but that seems to have fizzled away. I don't know how on earth they're gonna get back to their consistent form, but what we do know is that the skill gap between Asian teams and European teams is way too big at this point. Every Asian CS player that we have interviewed so far has said that one of the factors that prevents Asian teams from becoming as good as the European teams is the fact that we don't get to scrim with them often, and we don't get to play against the European teams often. Now that tournaments like IEM Beijing keep happening more often, teams will get a chance to play against these #1 teams like Astralis and EG very often, and that's exactly what will lead to the progress in these Asian teams. Do you agree with this statement? Do you think that if more tournaments like IEM Beijing keep happening, the Asian level of CS will rise? Let us know in the comments below if you agree with this standpoint. Those were the top 3 storylines from IEM Beijing. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more quality esports content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.